Hey, did you miss me? Okay, we back. We are so back. Been around the world a few laps since the last time we spoke. My bad for that, but okay, we back. We are so back. I took a little time for me. Okay, now it's time to eat. Look.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Truth and Transparency. My name is Deborah and I am 43 years old. I'm 5'2" and I'm on a mission with Mounjaro. I've been taking Mounjaro since the 28th of May, so roughly about 15 weeks now, for my type 2 diabetes. One of the symptoms is cold, hence me wearing the hoodie today. And also, you know, it's kind of winter season. We've had literally like a storm less than an hour ago, like the floods gates of heaven opened. So guys, I've got the water bottle. So like it says, grab your cup of tea and get cozy with me, because today I'm going to be talking through Mounjargons. Mounjaro, Mounjargons. As a professional, you know, I attend lots of meetings, multidisciplinary agencies around the table. We've all got our own professional languages, right? And sometimes you kind of like, they're speaking in their acronyms and they know amongst their teams and they know what they mean in terms of their professionalisms. And sometimes we, who are also professionals, don't have a clue what they're talking about. So if you're new to the Mounjaro community, first of all, welcome. Or if you're thinking about taking Mounjaro, whether that's for type 2 diabetes, PCOS, sleep apnea, obesity, whatever the reason, you know, you may not know some of the phrases. And that's something that I had to kind of get my head around. So I was having a conversation with a friend who's new to the Mounjaro. She's a secret jabber. I'll tell you about that later. She was asking, oh, what does this mean? And what does that mean? And I thought, well, you know what? I've got an idea. Let me break down the lingos. I'd love if you see this video to add to the Mounjaro lingos and the glossary to help any newcomers. But let's get into it. Mounjaro, otherwise known as quick pen, tirzepatide, GLP-1, skinny jab, fat jab. There may even be more, but those are the common ones that will be used among the Mounjaro community. Oh, actually, MJ. We're not talking about Michael Jackson. MJ, just a short abbreviation for Mounjaro. Now, on this journey, it's a complete personal journey that's specifically for you. Whatever the reasons why you came on, or thinking about starting the journey and coming on to using it, it's completely up to you whether you decide to keep that private and personal, whether you keep it with confidence, or whether you decide to tell the whole wide world and post it on YouTube like me. But yeah, so there is a term, secret jabber. It's not anyone else's business as to what they do in relation to their health and their weight. So they decide to keep it secret, and that's completely fine. So we would reference those individuals that choose to keep it private as secret jabbers. Another common word that you might have heard in the community, titrating up. I mean, what the hell is titrating up? It sounds like complicated, doesn't it? Titrating up is just another word for an increase. You're on the incline and you're going up, moving up to the higher dose. So on Mounjaro, you will start with a 2.5 pen, and the next is a 5 milligram pen, and then the next is a, I have to reference that, don't I? 7.5 pen. Then it goes to 10 milligrams, and then I believe it's 12.5 milligrams, and then the highest dose, which is a 15 milligrams. I'm currently on 5 milligrams. That's because I don't have a choice whether I can titrate up. As part of my NHS prescription, my diabetes nurse has just said that I will stay on the 5 milligrams. So, me have to make do. reasons why someone might titrate up is if they believe that the dose that they are currently on isn't having an effect. So what do we mean by that? They might not see any weight loss, they might not experience any suppression. So let's get into suppression. What's suppression? Suppression is basically where you feel full. As I said, it's a GLP-1. So you have two components. You have the hormone, which blocks the kind of food noise, which I'll go into. But the other part is the digestion system. It slows down the digestion system. So when you're eating food, it slows that down, which means you stay fuller for longer. So with that feeling full, you don't want to eat more food because you're full up. For some of us, prior to Mounjaro use, we didn't feel no suppression. That's why we were just eating and eating and eating, and we feel like, I'm still hungry, I'm not quite full. But the appetite suppression allows us to feel full, satiated and satisfied, so we consume less, essentially. Food noise. Food noise. Food noise is where you experience the cookie talking to you, telling you, have one more. Or the potatoes that you have in your roast dinner on a Sunday, and instead of having 3, you want 5 on top of the 2 Yorkshire puddings. Yeah. Whether it's rice, whether it's an extra drink, whether it's the pasta, the cakes, the biscuits, the ice cream. Guys, whatever it is, enticing you, telling you, you can have more and more and more. On Mounjaro, it shuts that down. Not 100%. And for those who have taken it, you know, that varies from person to person. Now, this is an interesting one, not used most commonly, but a side effect roulette. And a side effect roulette is basically, if you think about the Russian roulette and it's kind of spinning around, you've got all the different, roulette is just like multiple side effects of the Mounjaro happening at one time. So you may experience nausea, you may experience the cold like myself, you may experience the constipation, or you might be the opposite and experience the diarrhea, the dreaded D. It could be, you know, hair loss, it could be tiredness and fatigue. I'm just referring to my book here. It could be that you experience sulfur burps, professional term, eructation, yeah, but we just call it sulfur burps. They stink, they're eggy, they're not nice. Let's talk about dosing. So you may have heard some phrases like split dosing. Split dosing is if you have your pen. I should have really brought my pen up. In fact, way back there. So I went to get my pen. Now this was my first ever pen. Memories. Yeah, so 2.5 pen, and you will see that there is still some dosage. But you'll also see the markings, right? So when you have your first shot, it's here, second shot here, third shot here, fourth shot here, and this 5th shot is called the golden dose, is an extra shot. Now, rumour has it that Eli Lilly have decided, because they cottoned on to many people in the community talking about the golden dose, that they are going to be manufacturing the pens to not have this extra dose left at the end. So what people would usually do is get a different needle. So they would buy the other needles, basically extract this last dose and inject that as a 5th dose. And that allows them to have an extra one. It also saves financially because these pens are expensive if you're not on the NHS in the UK. Split dosing.
Split in the middle. Make the two touch.
If it was a 5 milligram pen, split dosing it would mean that if your dose day, injection day, is a Monday, you may use 2.5 on the Monday. So you would put half of your weekly, and then you might count Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you would inject the other 2.5. So you're still getting the 5 for the week, which is your weekly dose, but you're splitting it into 2. Some people on the higher pens may even split the dose, the weekly dose, into 3. Now, how they do that is calculating how many clicks. I can't click this anymore because it's at the end of the pen. They calculate that by how many clicks, and they mark up like a Sharpie pen as to how many it would be. I do believe there's 60 clicks, and there are channels that show you how to do that, and also tell you how many number of clicks it is, so you can kind of don't have to use your brain. They've calculated it for you. So that's what split dosing is. Let's move on to the next. Microdosing is where it's a little bit different. Microdosing is usually, my understanding, if someone is on a maintenance plan, so they may have reached their goal weight and they've decided they don't want to just do cold turkey where you just come off and abruptly end the medication, which I don't think anyone really advises to do, but don't quote me on that. Microdosing would be where you have your pen, and in maintenance you would just microdose. So if you had a 5 milligram pen, you may split that into 2 or 4, just throwing random numbers out, and take that each week. So you're taking a micro of the dose over a period of time to allow your body to kind of get used to it coming out, weaning yourself down and weaning yourself off. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Non-scale victories. Non-scale victories is where we celebrate good times. Come on. Not just about the number on the scale going down, but also around things like your rings being looser, your waist being smaller, you can fit into them jeans, and you've lost inches. Last video I documented, I had to change my glasses because my ones before were just falling off my face. So that was a non-scale victory. It might be in terms of fitness goals, walking more, in reaching your 1,000-step goals, daily goals. It could be that you've incorporated drinking more water. You know, you've got those flasks that say drink me by, and they've got the times on them that you know, because some people, we take this for granted, right? But some people just don't like the taste of water. Not that it has a taste, but can barely drink 500 to a litres full of water. And on Mounjaro, ideally, you would take 2, if you can, 2.5 to 3 litres a day. So that is a non-scale victory in terms of if you haven't been able to do that before and now you are. I see that as a non-scale victory because you have changed something, or you've noticed some positive change while on the journey. If you increased your protein, if you're reaching your calories or your macros, or your BMI has gone down. Now, on the contrary to non-scale victory, we do have the word plateau. Plateau is we're just standing still. Yeah, nothing's shifting, nothing's moving. The scales are not going down. Other words you may hear to describe that is a stall. The cause of that, water weight, it could be you was on your cycle, could have been you've underate in terms of your calories. It could be that you're stressed and or you could have exercised over high intensity and your cortisol levels are all over the place, it could be due to any other medications that you're taking alongside the Mounjaro. It could be just, you know, you've had foods with high content of sodium, salt, which latches onto you and bloats you. I've had many a stall and plateau during my journey, my short 15-week journey so far, which you can see in my other videos. But it's okay, because when you have the non-scale victories, that allows you to not focus too much about the number on the scale, because you know things are happening in your body, changes are taking place. So keep positive, keep using it, keep going, because sometimes when you have a stool, you have a whoosh. Yeah, you have a whoosh. And a whoosh basically is when you've had a period of time where you've had nothing shift on the scales, no weight loss, and then all of a sudden a significant drop happens. And all of a sudden you've lost 4 pounds and you think, well, where's that gone? I've not changed anything, but there you go, it's happened. Goal or target, what's your goal, what's your target? Obviously it's kind of self-explanatory, isn't it? What is your goal while on the Mounjaro journey? For me, it's a mission to defeat diabetes type 2, and also the bonus is to lose some weight. What's your goal? Do you have a goal weight? Do you have a target? Is there a 5k run that you would like to do? I know some people are doing like mini marathons. If you are on a journey or you're starting a journey, some tips that I would just say to encourage you along the way. If you can journal, write down just to reflect so you can go back on. That's something I wish that I did consistently. Take the pictures. Take pictures, take pictures, take pictures. Buddy up with someone, you know, if you are part of a Facebook group, if you're part of Instagram, TikTok, whatever social media platform, or tap into someone who may be further along their journey to ask, oh, did you find this? Someone, somewhere will have a response for you, because everyone's quite friendly. So that's what I would just encourage. And obviously, if there's any health elements that you're worried or concerned about, please, please, please always check with your health provider, whether that's a prescriber or your GP or diabetic nurse. Just to add to those tips, guys, increase your water, increase your protein, incorporate walking or any form of activity. I'm not saying you need to be a gym girl, because I'm not a gym baddie, but if you've got some weights, get pumping. If you've got a walking pad, get walking, get moving. There's so much out there on YouTube that you can just type in and just do in the comforts of your home. But stay moving and refreshing, drinking lots of water. There may be more jargons out there that you've heard or that you know of that I haven't mentioned in this video. Please pop them below in the comment section. Let's start a conversation. Let's get some more phrases out there even, and see how we go and see how we grow. Guys, I'm going to be ending the video here, and hope you've enjoyed and it's given you a better insight into Mounjaro and the different Mounjargons. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.